Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. And welcome back, everybody. It's a challenging world we live in now, sometimes more challenging than ever before in some regards. And a lot of times, there's divide. We all have opinions. This country has, in the last few months and last few years, there's been a divide. You can't ignore that. How can we make that gap smaller energetically? Because I believe, she believes, many of us believe it's all about energy. It's all about energy, what you're putting out there, what you're getting back. How can we unite a little bit more? Politics, I'm going to take this right now and throw it out the door. We're not talking about politics at all here. Never do. She's also got a great program we're going to talk about later, different modalities, how she supports and helps people. It's all part of her journey to help you with your journey. MaryElizabeth joins us today on the program. How you doing?
I am just fabulous, Steve. Thanks again for sitting with me.
I am very curious and intrigued where we're going to go with this today. I'm big believer in energy. We have a divide in the country, and not just some of the social issues going on, but there's also, I believe, an energetic shift that's happening here that
Absolutely.
may be responsible for a lot of this. Where do we begin?
Let us address initially the energetic shift. We are in a time in this year of 2025 when there is a cosmic shift in energy, where there is a lot of, some would say, acceleration of what needs to be honest with you, to uplift and save humanity. And that is why we are here. We are here to bring you closer to that space that you need to understand the truth of what you see versus the noise of what much of humanity is currently bringing.
I've heard about a shift coming, call it a year or two ago, and it seems that it's happening
Here.
now. Or, I don't know what phase we're in. Did it just start? Are we in the middle? Or hard to determine? Can we focus a little bit more on this energetic shift?
Absolutely. There is there is a need to rebalance the energy, because if you think about life in general, for balance to be, there is a center point, and then there are 2 points of polarity. What we will say, and we just like these words, so we will use them here, there is those that live in faith and those that live in fear. And if you remember, fear, false evidence appearing real. Right now, over the last many years, there has been a tipping point that goes to fear. If you think of center point and you're tipping towards fear, you are pulling away from center here. If you think of faith, and even as you tip towards fear, eventually you still hit center point. So it guarantees the energy of center point will be. So what we are asking, and what is accelerating in many of you, is some are referring to an awakening of energy and acceleration of coming in contact with what is new and letting go of what used to be. Do you understand?
For sure. And is it, in the center, is it okay to be in the center? Obviously, it would be great to be in the faith side of things, but is that the, lack of a better description, the normal position?
Let us just say what center is. Center is your God. Center is now. Center is here. Do you understand that?
Okay.
So
now I got
center is your truth. Center is that light in you.
And living in the now. And
yes.
there's not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, living your true, authentic self in center.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful place to be, but wouldn't you want to be more on the faith side?
Well, faith, what we will say, faith allows you to stay in that space of connection always. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. If you are in faith, you are in the knowing that everything will be okay. You are in the knowing that you are not alone. You are in the knowing that faith really is a present moment thing. You're not getting too far ahead. You're not looking back. You're not moving forward with dread. Do you understand? You are just here in the moment, living, knowing that all is as it's meant to be. Even in this turbulent time where you look around the world and you see all these natural events happening, all the energy of anger and divide, again, that is more fear-based. That aggression, that anger, that is all fear-based. Faith literally is allowing yourself to see that the person next to you, the person across the street, the person on the other side of the world is just like me. That space of God within each of you. When you allow yourself to see and understand the connection of the we, it becomes easier to stay centered despite the chaotic energy.
Disclaimer, when we say the word faith, we're not necessarily talking about religion.
No.
Yeah, just want to be clear because sometimes it scares people away, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to be connected to a or your God, then great, connect it there. Faith can be faith in the universe, faith in yourself, faith that it's going to all work out well. So that said, if we're in that center position, and we're living now, our true authentic self, don't want to think about the future. Don't want to, because it's not here. But at what point? I'm going to try and verbalize this, and this is we're going into the deep side of Steve's head. So here we go. How do you not feel irresponsible about not really thinking about the future? Or you come from a place of, I'm not going to worry about it because it is all going to work out. So don't sweat it. It's all going to work out.
So you said, how do you not feel irresponsible? Feeling irresponsible is a self-judgment. Do you understand? It's a tool of Fred. It's that tool of space, of energy that somebody taught you. It's irresponsible not to look ahead. It's irresponsible not to plan. What we will say to you, we're not saying do not plan. Because if you're like our Ami, she likes a plan. She likes to have a direction to focus her energy. But a lot of times, you all try to make things be, and you are ignoring what is happening within you and around you in this moment in time. The universe is always speaking to you, constantly showing you signs, constantly giving you inspired thoughts. And again, many times you'll say, well, no, that can't be. It has to be this way. It has to be this way. Just as it's irresponsible not to plan. Do you understand? You're in a space of judgment. One of the things you said about faith is faith in me. Faith in me. Faith in the person you are, because you are the creator. You are the creator of your reality. And here's the amazing part. As you create a life of ease for yourself, you positively affect those around you.
Do you feel that when you've hit the sweet spot, meaning you're coming from a place of center, and you're where you should be, where you want to be, that those things that you feel you should plan, they'll all work themselves out. You'll know what you need to plan. You won't have to worry, oh gosh, I hope I'm not forgetting something, or I should put some focus on that over there. I need to plan that over there. You'll just know when you're in that perfect spot. Yes, there are some things you plan. There's other things, I don't have to worry about that. It's going to work itself out anyway. I'm good. I'm good.
Exactly. And that is where faith leads. That is where faith begins within all of you, you see. When you understand that it will work out, it may not work out exactly as you see, but it works out perfectly. And she is a planner, always has been. So she struggles with this, sometimes mightily, because she wants to know what is going to be. She wants to be sure all the pieces align perfectly. Well, perfection is divine. It's not a human thing. There will always be a space in your humanity, in your self measuring, where you will find something that is wrong, unless you allow yourself to see the divine is here within you, leading you to exactly where you're meant to be. All will work out perfectly. Have you ever forgotten to do something and literally beat yourself up all the way there? Oh my God, I didn't do this and it's not going to work out. And then you get there and suddenly it fell into place without you having to do anything.
Yep.
So the waste of time is not in the plan, but in tying yourself to it so intently. In being so focused on taking control. Here's the way to take control. Let go.
I can very much relate to what you're saying because I came from a place of fear, came from a place of perfectionism, came from a place of planning. Nothing wrong with planning. I don't want to say I overplanned, but yeah, and I'm not an overthinker, but I would always make sure that everything is just right, as best as it can be. I let it all go. What a difference. What a difference.
It truly does create a space of flow for each of you. What we will say, when you are in the space of controlling, when you are in the space of trying to make it be, when you are in the space of having to manipulate all the energy, you are just in the status flow. You are doing what you have been taught to do. You are doing what you believe is the most efficient way to be, when in reality, when you allow yourself to take control by letting go, the universal flow will be what leads you. You won't be in fear. Fear is the only thing that can alter universal flow. It can't stop it, but it can redirect it. So what could have come to you with ease takes years longer, you see. Because you're living in the status flow, how you think life should be, instead of letting the unfolding, you see.
I don't know if I shared this last time we got together, but all these things you're saying, my mom used to say.
Smart woman.
She'd say, it'll all work out. And, you're younger, you're like, you're old. Let's be honest. You look at your parents, in your 20s and they're, they could be, in their 40s or whatever. And you're like, what do you know? Whatever. Or just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. What the heck does that even mean? Now, I know what it means. I get it. It all came clear. It all will work out if you don't worry about it. It just does. It just does. Even, those of us, we all, most of us have financial challenges from time to time, and it can really put a pressure on us. But if you just ease back, not be responsible, but ease back a little bit and trust, maybe that's the word, and trust that it's going to work out. It's going to be all right. Maybe a little challenging for a little while there. It's all going to, in the end, it's going to work out. It does. I don't know how, but it does.
It does. And here's the interesting thing. As you're speaking, you said a couple of times it may be a little challenging. The only thing challenging you is the fear. Do you understand that? It's the thoughts going through your head. It's that program that is being run by Fred. That is the only thing challenging. When you allow your faith to lead and know that it's all going to work out perfectly. And the easiest way to get yourself there, we're going to give you a little tool here. When you are facing a challenge in your life, what we will say to you is just live in the moment of already receiving the answer you want to be. So I am so happy and grateful now that I have no financial worries. I am so happy and grateful now for the freedom my abundance brings. And owning that space and owning that energy, you'll notice as we spoke, we uplifted the energy because we were in it. Do you understand what we mean? When you say there can be challenges, you're expecting them. And there's an energy of expectation there.
Mom also used to say, be careful what you ask for.
Exactly.
You're asking for a challenge. And by the way, when I said that word, honestly, I wasn't really referring to myself. I was referring to others and what they feel.
Yes, we understand.
To get over that fear.
Yes.
I'll be completely honest with you right here. You ready? 3 weeks ago, I was told, pretty good chance I have stage 3 cancer. Went down a rabbit hole for a day, and I'm like, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right. Doctor shows up who operated on my mom about 6 years ago. He just appeared. He came into my health system. He just left one and came into another one. He's like, yeah, you're good. No problem. I'm like, scale of 1 to 10. What do you think? We got to do some tests. 10 being stage 3. He's like, you may be a 1. Guess what? It was a mistake. But I didn't worry so much about it. Thought about it, but, and every time you go over one of those hurdles and you realize, or one of those, I don't even say challenges, things that confront you, it gets easier and easier and easier to the point you're like, whatever, because you have faith, you have trust.
You have faith, you have trust, and you are creating your reality. We're not saying that you're not going to have moments where, like you said, for a day you mold there. You stayed in that energy, and then you're like, nope, that doesn't feel right to me. Trust what you feel, not what you fear. 2 totally different things.
Pinnacle moment right there. And I can take myself back, 3 and some weeks ago, where I was standing when I was talking to the doctor on the phone, who I didn't use. I wasn't really afraid at all. It was how to process that. And even to the point where, and this is after a PET scan, I have no secrets. He even said, yeah, we also see something on your shin. I'm like, doctor, I think that's a pimple. He goes, well, it could be, but I'm just telling you. It's almost as if he was throwing fear out there, and I'm like swatting it away. Yeah. And my gut was telling me, that's it's God. There's nothing there. But I stopped worrying about it because it just didn't. When I needed to worry about it? When I needed to worry about it. I didn't need to worry about it.
Exactly. And we appreciate you sharing that story, you see, because there are many who feed the fear. There are many here who need you to understand the severity of what you may be facing. A maybe is not a certainty. It's not a guarantee. As you said, errors happen.
Mm-hmm.
Humans are human. Trust your own knowing. Trust your own belief. And know that it does all work out perfectly. Because in that space of divine energy, when you allow yourself to expand into that truth, there is nothing that can harm you. Do you understand?
It's like having a force field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that space of energy you are creating moment to moment to moment to moment. So be aware, as we said previously, be aware of how you are feeling. Shift the energy if it needs to be shifted. If you are feeling downtrodden and if you are feeling worried or in doubt, understand that is does not feel good in the physicality, so it is not your truth. And if that had been your truth, let us show you this too, because there are some who will face that diagnosis and it will be true. But that does not mean it's a death sentence, you see. It's just a point of experiencing. And for those who have that diagnosis, if they choose to understand the truth of it and not go into the fear of it, their process will be much easier because you all have the power to heal.
And to your point, I still needed surgery. It was pretty, not extensive, but it wasn't just 5 minutes in and out, but all done. Fine. Moving forward. It's fantastic. You mentioned Fred. You told us what Fred is last time we got together. Just as a reminder, tell us again.
Fear, reaction, energy denied. Fred is the voice in your head. That is a default energy that is your subconscious mind trying to protect you by looking at a situation and basing it on what used to be to give you a potential of what may come to be. It's bringing the past experience forward with you, trying to get you to utilize that energy to create what's next for you. And a lot of times it's the old program from childhood, you see, that you have brought forward for your whole lifetime, you see, which is, I'm not enough. It's not going to work out for me. Others are better than me. That, we hate to tell you, is all lie. You are enough. It will work out for you. And no one can do you as wonderfully as you do.
Fred, fear, reaction,
energy denied. So we say, excuse the language, shut the fuck up, Fred.
Fred is not your friend.
No. He tries to be. But if it makes you feel bad, he's leading with a lie.
Well, that is a lie you tell yourself, and that's all been programmed into your subconscious from your childhood. And yes, that's all of those things you mentioned. I was at the gym about a month ago, and I look up, somebody's working out in front of me. This guy's in front of me, and he's got a T-shirt on, and beautiful. It says, "You are enough." And I just look at him, and we didn't even have to talk. I just point to the shirt, and I'm like, and he got it. Like, yeah. We need to know that. Sometimes we need to, maybe I saw it for a reason I don't know. Maybe I needed to see it at that time. I don't know. Tell us about this program you have coming up.
Well, I have a program that's starting this year, and it's called the Mastermind Mentoring Series Coaching Program. And on March 31st, the first program launches, which is called Fuse, Connecting to the Power of You. Or the power of me, excuse us. We said that incompletely. The power of me is your full source, your full energy. So allowing yourself in this 4-month program, it has 16 weeks, 4 modalities where you go through and we help guide you through group coaching, individual mentoring sessions, and a combination of suggested work that you do on your own to move forward and erase the energy of negativity that comes through to shift in the belief of you in embracing the power that you call me.
And to find out more, your website, what's that?
The website is www.IamMaryElizabeth.me.
All of this came clear for you on top of a mountain. Final thought, we're out of time here, but I want to just focus on that. I thought you had said that, or I read that maybe on your website. It was a moment of clarity. It was a little over 10 years ago on a mountain. Tell us about that moment.
It was a moment where I was asked to reaffirm my commitment to God that I made as a child. And I remembered that commitment. And the commitment was I would always allow the message to come through. And all God asks is that you have faith in me. That was when I was 51. I'm now 64. At the age of 63, I finally understood what faith in me was being asked, to have faith within myself. Because when we believe in ourselves, there is nothing we cannot do to change our lives and those of the people around us.
Why? Now that happened, that epiphany on the mountaintop. And why did it take that amount of time, 10 years and some, for it to come clear? Am I hearing that right?
Because for the majority of the time, I still believed my old upbringing, which was God was outside of me. It was easy for me to put my faith in God. I literally changed my whole life to commit to God. But what I didn't realize is I was being asked to commit to me, because now I have the absolute understanding that God is me experiencing life as MaryElizabeth. And my commitment is to allow the power of MaryElizabeth to create a world of kindness and integrity, to help others find their purpose, their passion, and their power.
I'm going to do the same thing. That's my goal. I'm being very serious. And you made it clear.
We believe you. We believe you. We
true.
believe you. And we want nothing more than for you to understand that you are the gift here. You are the divine.
It's interesting that we're always searching for something. And it's perfectly fine if you connect with a God. But really, ultimately, from what I'm hearing from you and walking a journey, you need to connect with yourself.
Yes.
Like really, truly connect with yourself. Some people say, yeah, I know who I am. And that's wonderful. But do you? Do you?
Not many. Not many.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Many believe that the person they've created themselves to be is who they are. Many believe that if they're living as others told them to, that's who they are. But what they sometimes are missing is they are not fully in that connection of faith in me, that space of energy that allows them to see that I am the creator. I am the power. I am that space of loving energy. Because when you can fully connect to you, you are fully in that space of being able to look in the mirror and say, I love you.
And many can't do that.
Exactly.
And it sounds so simple, but try it. Try it and by yourself. Doesn't have to be anybody around, but try it. I've spoken to people that have tried and cried, struggling with it. MaryElizabeth, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate it. A lot of insight, a lot of clarity. And more and more we get together, I see how you run deep in such a wonderful way. And I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate this time, and I appreciate all who listen, because we are both here to uplift humanity. And to be very clear, each and every word you share is a gift to those who listen to you. So we are grateful.
Every day on a radio show, I also do a radio show. I play music, 80s, 90s, some 70s. I end every show with be kind to yourself and others.
Exactly.
For a reason. Thank you.
Exactly.
Looking forward next time we get together.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Steve.
Likewise. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.